What's up, guys? For the next few videos, we're going to be testing out a few pairs of 15-inch subwoofers for around a $200 price range. And today we're starting off with these Soundstream T5 15 dual 4-ohm subs. And these aren't new, these have been out for a long time. Soundstreams, I think these have been out, man, maybe even 10 years ago. I know they've had some changes, but these have been out for a while. A lot of guys really like them. You know, you still hear about guys putting them through their paces and they still hold up and they still sound good, so we're going to check them out. And so this does have a full plastic dust cap cover, and it's a pulp paper cone underneath, double stitched surround. The foam is a softer type foam. It's not super hard, so that should mean like less break-in time. And then it does, the only thing, some people hate this and some people don't mind it, but it has a plastic magnet cover. And while it does look cool, some guys don't like it. But the reason they do that on these subs is they use the older style magnet stack. You can't really see in there, but they're not the coolest looking magnets. Doesn't mean they're bad, it's just they're narrower and they're stacked on top of each other, almost like you see like on the Audio Pipe series subs. So to make it look nice, they put a cover on there, so whether you like it or not, that's why they do it. Really nice aluminum basket that's black anodized and then milled edges so you can see the aluminum pop through. Heavy pulp paper cone. And although the tensile leads are not super big, it does have a spider hold down ring. And the tensile leads are stitched into the spider. So pretty nice looking subs. I kind of dig the spider. I like the dust cap on here. It looks really cool. And if you're going to mount these, you know, inverted, they look really nice from the back. So the basket looks really cool. It's got direct wire leads with big 10 gauge wire. So, and then I'll go ahead and put the weight. These things weigh over 32 pounds, so they're pretty beefy subs. I'll put that up on the screen now. And also I'm going to put up the TS parameters from the DATS unit after break-in, and we'll go ahead and throw that up now for you guys. And then we'll go get these things hooked up and see how they play. And also I want to remind you, I'm going to be doing 4 or 5 pairs of 15s. So in the next month or so, I'm going to be doing 4 more pairs of 15s in around the $200 a piece price range. And at the end, we're going to do a shootout. And I'm all running them on the same amp, so we're going to see what they do. They're all comparable wattage-wise, so we'll be able to compare them all at the very end. So let's get these things hooked up and see how they sound. Okay, guys, so we got these things hooked up. These are 4 cubic foot boxes tuned to 35 hertz, so they're really good spec for 15 boxes. We're running 2500 uncertified, 2900 dynamic watts from the HiFi, and it's pretty good power for these things. I know they could take a little bit more, but this is also going to help in comparing all the 15s I'm going to do using the same boxes and same amp to see what kind of different results we get. But let's go ahead and get these things fired up, and I'll show you guys, you know, how they sound and what they can do. some sweep, some test tones. Actually, I'm gonna do some test tones first. Just 20 hertz. Alright, so there you go. These things actually sound really good. They're nice and smooth. They have a good sound. They hit the lows pretty well. They move a lot of air. They're doing great on this amplifier, but they could handle more power. I'm just using this to where we can compare all these 15s on moderate power and see what they do. But I'll also be testing all these subs. I'm going to review these 15s on a Smart 5 or something bigger. But they sound really good. Now these are smooth sounding. They're not slappy, but they're nice, punchy, smooth sounding subs. And we're also going to hook them up and see what kind of dB levels we get out of these on this particular setup right now. So let's go check that out and see what we get out of them. Also, just to note, one thing I did notice is these hit the lows really well, but they kind of start falling off above 50 hertz. So in some songs you can kind of hear a little bit of that, 60, 70 hertz missing out a little bit, and then when they hit the lower notes, it's really like in your face. So they're a little bit peaky, but at least they're peaky in the lower frequencies and not lacking on the lows. They're lacking a little bit on the highs. Alright, let's see if we can get over 140 with these things. Alright, not bad. 142.55 in this big old SUV, and just with a 2500 watt amp. And these are even in just these prefab boxes. They're decent. They're 4 cubic feet, 35 hertz, so they're decent, but these aren't even in my custom boxes yet. But they're actually pretty good little tester boxes. But not bad, and they could use more power, but I'm purposely just using moderate power so we can test all these about $200 each price range 15s and see how well they do, how efficient they are, how loud they get. For guys that just want, have a stock car, stock alternator, that just want to go buy a setup that they can use without getting crazy. But I will also test them later with the Smart 5 and custom boxes, push them to their maximum. But I'm doing this so we can kind of test them all together right now. But yeah, these subs sound really good, really loud. They have a good smooth sound. So let's go ahead and get back to the shop, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts and rundown on these Soundstream T5 15s. Alright guys, so we're back. I listened to these subs for about 2 weeks. They sound really good. Good smooth sound. They actually work well for metal music, which was impressive for 15s. They're fairly accurate. They're actually really accurate for 15s. So I was pleased with them. I wasn't annoyed at any sloppiness. They sound good for rap. They hit the lows really well. They move a lot of air. The only thing I noticed, which is not necessarily a bad thing, is they're a little peaky, and at above 50 hertz they kind of fall off a little bit. So I noticed certain songs, whether it be rock, metal, or even electronic, there were certain notes that were kind of quiet, up in that 50, 60, 70 hertz range, and then all of a sudden when a 40 hertz note hit, or 30 hertz, it was in your face loud. So they're a little peaky, but like I said before, at least they're peaky in the lower levels. They're not lacking any lows. They're actually lacking a little bit of the higher end of, the subwoofer spectrum. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just a characteristic. Every subwoofer has its pros and cons. But I will say, most people are not as picky as me I'm very picky. I hear every little detail. Sometimes it's annoying, but it's good in a way because then, you know, I can tell you guys a lot of little specifics on how things sound. But most guys, it's not going to bother them. But they do have a very good sound. They sound good with all types of music. I was really surprised how good they sound with metal. They definitely can handle more power. I can't wait to get like a Smart 5 hooked up to these and see what they do. Because they weren't even breaking a sweat on that, you know, 2900 watt amp that we were running them on. So there you go. I mean, you really can't beat it, guys, for $200 a piece. If you're a Soundstream fan, they did not get warm whatsoever during testing and during break-in. A lot of subs with this power rating, they get a little warm. These did not break a sweat. So I believe what all the Soundstream guys say, that these things are just total workhorses. So, alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. It'll help me out a lot. And stay tuned for the next series of videos on a bunch of $200 15s we're going to do, and then a final shootout at the end. Alright guys, thanks so much.